Good morning, students. Today, lecture number 6, we are going to discuss the Shakespearean tragedies. We have seen so many of types today, and this lecture number 6, we again discuss little bit about the Shakespearean tragedies. In the previous class, we have discussed the tragedies like Romeo and Juliet, Antony and Cleopatra, Troilus and Cressida by William Shakespeare. Now, today, we are going to discuss some plays which are known as, which are the blend of mixture of tragic and comic. This type of tragedies we have lot by Shakespeare. Some are comedies, some are tragedies, some are tragic comic that I am going to discuss today. Then we have some historical plays. Historical plays also come into the category of this tragedy and comedy also. And so, dear friends, today we will discuss the Shakespeare's tragedies like Merchant of Venice. We have Merchant of Venice, then we have the Major for Major. These tragedies very well highlights. When you go through the tragedy like Merchant of Venice or the tragedies like Major for Major, you will come to know these comedies. Even you have the well-known tragedies, and the picture of such comic is Twelfth Night, Midsummer Night Dreams are also come into the category, because in Edward, what I told you, in the Twelfth Night also some tragic situations are there. And when we think about these comedies like All for Love, As You Like It, Midsummer Night Dreams, Comedy of Errors, there are so many comedies written by William Shakespeare. But as for the unit first, Shakespearean tragedies, its characteristics and plot, we are just discussing the tragedies. We have discussed earlier King Lear, Othello, Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Troilus and Cressida, Antony and Cleopatra as well. And today we will discuss a little bit about the Merchant of Venice and Major for Major. When you study Christopher Marlowe's, one of the scientific and well-known dramatist of the same age which Shakespeare belongs. Christopher Marlowe has written also the well-known play was known as tragic comic, that is the Jew of Malta, and the same Merchant of Venice is also based on the same pattern. This particular play, Merchant of Venice, very well highlights the tragic situation, but how the luck helps him, and the same way the character like Antonio escapes from the trouble. And here in this particular play, tragic comedy, we have Shylock, the Merchant of Venice, who was a very money lender, whose business was giving money on the basis of rent. And he was very famous and also miserable. conjuice. So, just I will point out the tragic episode of this play. Besides that, it is a famous love story of Portia and her beloved. And here, the whole stress, the tragedy centers on the well-known character, Portia. Then the moneylender like Shylock. Then Antonio. What happened in this tragedy happened? This Antonio was also the another good man who also gives the money to the people, but not on the rent basis. And so what happened? This Shylock has very much jealousy over this character because he considers him as his rival. So what happened? Somehow this Antonio has a dire need of money because his boats takes little time to arrive on the shore, and for some time or for a week of time he needs some money. So he has no way except to take the money from the child. So it was a matter of very short duration. So Antonio takes money from the Shiloh. And what happened? He has promised him that he will return him in the given time. And so Shylock also was a very clever, villainous, jealous man. So he put a condition that if he couldn't return his money in the given time, he will take action whatever he wants. So Antonio agrees to his terms and conditions. And what happened? As per the plan, his boats, luggage or goods couldn't return at the shore. So Shylock became happy because he has time to take revenge on the Antonio. And so what happened? Shylock demands his flesh of pawn from his body. Flesh of pawn. तो काय मागतो की मला ठरल्याप्रमाणे तो वेळेत पैसे दिला नाही, त्याच्यामुळे मला अँटोनियोच्या शरीरातला एक पॉन्ड मांसाचा तुकडा पाहिजे. And Antonio, Portia, Antonio's friend, Portia's beloved, were become very serious because if we take a part from his chest or any important organ in a flesh of pawn, Antonio will not be survived. So the situation, because such situation is a tragic like situation, and he has no exception because he has accepted this term. He has put or agreed the condition of Shylock, whatever he wants, whatever he demands, he has to pay because this condition he has agreed. And so, my dear students, what happened when the time of taking the flesh of pawn comes, each and everyone becomes serious that Antonio will not be survived. तो आता जिवंत राहणार नाही कारण की तो कुठल्याही ऑर्गनचा कुठल्याही शरीरातला एक पॉन्डचा तुकडा तो घेणार. This become very serious. This situation which was happy in the beginning, Portia is beloved Antonio, everyone was busy. Shylock was finding the opportunity to take revenge upon his opponent, his rival, moneylender, because his business was money lending but of no interest basis, and so the business of Shylock was in loss. So such condition, my dear friends, very well highlights that what was the such situation which discusses the condition Condition means how such Portia, Shylock, Antony facing the situation. Everyone was become serious, and that day comes. He has to take the flesh of pot, Masa Tukra. Maybe suppose from the chest he takes the flesh of pot, he will not be survived. So Antonio knows that his last day came. He is praying for the God. तर शेवटच्या दिवसाला आज मी मरणार ठरल्या दिवशी तो येतो वेणीस शायलाकडे आणि घे माझ्या मासाचा तुकडा म्हणतो आणि तो शेवटचा दिवस समजतो, शेवटचा क्षण समजतो आपल्या जीवनाचा. But what happened? Portia was a brilliant lady. When she come to know the fact from his beloved, she is ready to, she has promised to save the life. How she plays a trick, saying that when they are not ready to give the flesh of pawns, the matter goes into the court. As a lawyer, this Portia plays on behalf of this Antonio, and what happened? She said to the Shylock, if you want the flesh of pond, you take as it is at the fixed place of pond, not more or not less. Otherwise, my client will suffer. तुला किती पाहिजे? एक पॉन्ड ठरल्याप्रमाणे एकच पॉन्ड घ्यायचं, नॉट मोर और नॉट लेस, एक्झॅक्ट वन प्लेस ऑफ पॉन्ड. Shylock says, is it cheating? And so the matter goes into the court. And what happened when they goes in front of the judges? The Portia plays on behalf of him and says to the Shylock, my lord, we are requesting him to take fixed pond, one pond, not more or not less. So Shylock also gave, because the lawyer, the justice also ordered to Shylock to take only one pond. If you take more, you will be punished. If you take less, you will be punished. And so that way what happened? Shylock lost his case, and on behalf of this Portia, when she takes the side of his, they get victory. So the situation which was very much tragic for some time, the last day was considered the life of such man who survived, who survives. And finally what happened? The very atmosphere which was very much tragic for many days, the situation was very much near to the death, and one was breathing his last breath of life and considered that his day was the last day. The very next moment, the situation changes and he becomes a happy man in the world. So this is the tragic situation converted into the comic one. So this is little bit about the tragic comic. And again we have the another tragedy, or we can say the tragic comic situation that also highlights the very episode. Measure for measure, when you go through Shakespeare's measure for measure is like to tit for tat. What happened? Here also we have the character like Antonio in measure for measure, when in this the Duke, means the King of Vienna, BAII. It was the story of Vienna, while the earlier was about Venice. When the Duke of Vienna was ruling on his rule, on his kingdom, everyone was happy. But what happened? The people in his kingdom in general, and Antonio his deputy, considered that, says that people in general and Antonio in particular says to the Duke that you are failing to bring harmony in the city or in the kingdom, because the people are not behaving good in our kingdom. Prostitute houses are opened in our city in a large manner. Women became pregnant before the marriages. So, in our city, number of people became the victim of infectious diseases. बरेच लोक बिमार पडलेले आहेत वेगवेगळ्या रोगानं. वेश्या व्यवसाय मोठ्या प्रमाणात शहराबाहेर आहेत. त्याच वेळेस जे एखादी स्त्री लग्नानंतर बरोबर होत असते ॲक्च्युअल रियल लीगल मॅरेज, बट बिफोर द मॅरेज वुमेन बिकम प्रेग्नंट. So what happened here in this case? What happened? This Antonio again and again condemns the Duke for such pollution in the city. So one day the Duke, what happens? He handovers his power to the Antonio for some time and says, "You bring the harmony in the city, and for some time I will travel abroad in search of peace." मी काही काळासाठी बाहेर जाईल आणि तू शांतता ठेव या शहरामध्ये. सो दिस ड्यूक डिस्गाइज्ड ॲज द फ्रायर, एखाद्या साधूच्या वेशामध्ये हा राजा शहरात फिरत असतो अँटोनियोचं सिच्युएशन बघू. And what happened? For the first time, what happened? This Antonio arrests Claudio for making Juliet pregnant. एक शहरातल्या माणसाला तो अरेस्ट करतो की त्यांनी लग्नाच्या पूर्वीच एका स्त्रीला एका मुलीला प्रेग्नंट केलं. अँड ही ऑल्सो ऑर्डर्स हिम द व्हेरी नेक्स्ट डे ही हॅज टू बी हँड फॉर डेथ. उद्या त्याला सकाळी फाशी देऊन टाका, कारण की असे एखाद्याला शिक्षा झाली म्हणजे आपल्या शहरामध्ये शांतता. अँड ही ऑल्सो ऑर्डर्स द प्रॉस्टिट्यूट हाऊस इन द सिटी विल बी क्लोज अँड आउटसाइड ऑफ द सिटी विल बी ओपन. शहरातले बंद होतील, शहरातल्या बाहेरचे चालू राहतील आणि तो जुलिएटला प्रेग्नंट झाले पक्को राहतो आणि फाशी देतो. मीन्स his plan is to bring the strict rule. And what happened? When the Isabella, the sister of Claudio, comes, Claudio jala फाशी द्यायची, Isabella comes to know that her brother is going to hang. And what happened? Isabella was the nun sister, and she was practicing the nunnery, and very soon she was going to become sister. आणि ते फॅमिली लाईफचा, मॅरेजचा सगळ्याचा त्याग करून ख्रिश्चन मिशनरीमध्ये सिस्टर बनणार होती, ननरीची प्रॅक्टिस करणार होती. सो शी वॉज अवे फ्रॉम द ह्युमॅनिटी. When she come to know about her brothers, she came into the prison to meet him. At that time, his brother requested him for his rescue because he says that he has punished me for such sin which sin the people of Vienna openly do. माझी काही चूक नाही, कारण की अशा प्रकारचे कारस्थान व्हिएनामध्ये सर्व लोक करतात. So what is my fault? I am not one. And so Isabella, along with her friend, goes to the Antonio and requests him for the rescue of her brother, but he failed to accept her rescue. Again, the very next day, she goes to the Antonio. Again, he fails to. Again, the friar, disguised goes into the prison, and the same time he meets to the Claudio and says him, "Get ready for the death." This Claudio is shocked, and again when this Isabella goes for the third time towards Antonio for the rescue of her brother, at that time Antonio says, "If you sleep with him for one night, I will rescue your brother." And this is the plan, and again Antonio plans that exploit Isabella, and the very next day he want to hang to Claudio. दुसऱ्या दिवशी त्याला फाशी देऊ, आज आपण रिलेशनशिप ठेवू इसाबेला सोबत. कारण उद्या जरी कोणी म्हटलं की फाशी दिली तुम्ही, मला कमिटमेंट केलं होतं, इसाबेला जर म्हटली तर ते आपलं जे काही पाप असेल कोणासोबत व्यक्त करणार नाही म्हणून तो बिंदास होतो. And so as per the plan, Isabella gets ready to sleep with Antonio, accepts his term. But Isabella puts one condition: whatever should happen, it should happen in the darkness. One thing. And secondly, whenever I come, I will come along with my friend. This is the second accept. And so, meanwhile, this friar meets to the Isabella, and they got the history of Antonio there. He has broke his engagement. त्याचं एका मुलीसोबत एंगेजमेंट झालं होतं, परंतु कोर्स ऑफ टाईममध्ये तिचा भाऊ पैसे द्यायला जातो, परंतु त्याचे पैसे चोरल्या गेल्यामुळं तो पैसे देत नाही आणि म्हणून तो आपलं लग्न एंगेजमेंट मोडतो. म्हणून इसाबेला आणि ड्यूक काय करतात, त्याची जी एक्स फियन्स असते ज्यासोबत एंगेजमेंट झालं असतं तिला घेऊन येतात आणि इसाबेला आणि ती सिक्रेट बुरका घालून अँटोनियोकडे जातात. इसाबेला ऐवजी ड्यूकच्या म्हणण्यानुसार त्याची जी एक्स एंगेजमेंट झालेली असते तिच्यासोबत ते तिला पाठवून देतात. अँड विथ हर दिस अँटोनियो पुट्स द सेक्शुअल रिलेशनशिप्स. And Antonio was happy, and the very next day he orders his soldiers to hang Claudio for death. And त्याच वेळेस तो ड्यूक इंटरव्हेन करून काय करतो की त्याच दिवशी प्रिझनमध्ये एक ड्रंकर्ड मॅन, पिदाडा माणूस मेलेला असतो, त्यालाच फाशी देत सांगतात आणि क्लॉडिओला तिथून रेस्क्यू करतात आणि फाशी देत म्हणून सांगतात. And this plan is not known to the Antonio. As per the plan, Duke announces to the people of Vienna that I am returning. तो रिटर्न व्हायला येतो. अँटोनियो मोठ्या अभिमानानं पुढे जातो की मधल्या काळामध्ये मी शहरात असं केलं, क्लॉडिओला फाशी दिली, अशी प्रोटेस्ट हाऊस बंद केली. परंतु जेव्हा तिथंच अँटोनियोची वाईफ येते, त्याच्यासोबत त्याचं एंगेजमेंट झालं होतं, ती सांगते की सर असं अँटोनियोने माझ्यासोबत रिलेशनशिप ठेवली सेक्शुअल आणि मी प्रेग्नंट आहे, काय करायचं. आणि ड्यूक अँटोनियो कशी येतो, अँटोनियो व्हॉट इज द रूल ऑफ व्हिएना, व्हॉट रूल यू आर प्रॅक्टिसिंग. जो कोणी स्त्री लग्नाच्या आधी प्रेग्नंट होईल त्याला फाशी द्यायची. मग ॲज पर द रूल अँटोनियो हॅज टू गिव्ह दिस, वी कॅन से दिस हँग फॉर डेथ. त्याला फाशी द्यायची ठरल्यामुळे, कारण की जसा तो क्लॉडिओला नियम केला जुलिएटला प्रेग्नंट केल्यामुळं, तशा पद्धतीने तुला सुद्धा फाशी दिली पाहिजे त्या स्त्रीला प्रेग्नंट केल्यामुळं. अँटोनियो गेव शॉक. अँटोनियो शॉक झाला, कारण की जो गेम त्यांनी खेळला होता तो त्याचेच अनुभव येतो. आणि इसाबेला नॅरेट द होल स्टोरी व्हॉट हॅपन्ड इन द केस ऑफ अँटोनियो व्हेन शी वॉज बेगिंग फॉर द रेस्क्यू ऑफ हर ब्रदर. Then, as per the plan, Antonio waits, and finally, the Duke opens the secret that how he has saved Claudio and how he has played the trick with Isabella. So, such situation is such a tragic climax. Antonio also sees his death, and even Claudio, from the very next day, is going to hang. And often each and every people come to him and says, "Get ready for the death." So such situation, Isabella, everyone, and at the same time, such situation is very much a tragic one. And when the secret explodes, the atmosphere becomes happy. Duke proposes Isabella for the marriage, and they get married. Antonio also gets engaged, get married. So this is some little bit about the measure for measure. So my dear friends, this is a little bit about the measure for measure, one of the comic tragic Merchant of Venice tragic plays. So tomorrow onwards, in the next lecture, we will begin or discuss the Julius Caesar tragedy. Thank you.